The next game on our list is the Tennessee Titans defeating the Indianapolis Colts 24-17 on the road, making the Colts now 1-2-1 and third place in the AFC South now for the Indianapolis Colts. What is going wrong in Indianapolis, Aaron? What can you pinpoint one thing or another thing or a different thing? Can you pinpoint something that you can point to when you're talking about the Colts struggles now 1-2-1, almost 1-3 to start the season?
Yeah, well, they haven't been able to run the football as effectively as they did last year, and that's a huge deal. Outside of that first game against Houston, Jonathan Taylor has only had 54, 71, and 42 yards. And we know what this offense wants to do. We know this offense wants to be predicated on pounding the rock and then making play action, making big explosive plays on the outside with Michael Pittman. But they don't have the explosiveness on the outside of a Michael Pittman. And he's not really an explosive receiver. He's more of that sure-handed, get you a 15-yard dig, get you in the red zone, sure-handed kind of guy. So they're lacking explosive plays. And Matt Ryan has been sacked way too many times. He's turning the football over. And their offensive line is not as good as it's been in the past. And I mentioned this before with the loss of Mark Lewinsky and those guys, that just because you're once known as a great offensive line, a la the Dallas Cowboys, that can change in a heartbeat. And that's what's happened here to Matt Ryan. It's like he's under pressure. He's a statue. He can't move. And he continues to turn the football over as a result of it. So, the Colts are struggling. They don't really have anybody else to lean on outside of a Jonathan Taylor, and that's been a huge problem. Like 6 for 85 and Mo Alley Cox and 2 touchdowns. That's great, but that's your start. That's your guy. That's the guy that you're relying on, because everybody else is 4 catches, 1 catch. Michael Pittman with 3. Like, who's the guy that when you need a 3rd and 6, who are you going to? That should be Michael Pittman, but it's not happening. So they haven't been able to sustain drives. It's just not a pretty sight on offense for the Colts.
Yeah, and that's the no one is really stepping up. No one is really jumping out and saying, okay, like I'm going to go out there and make plays. It's tough times, I feel like, in Indianapolis. And like you said, I think we talked about it with there's 3 teams out there that success solely rely on giving the running back the ball. It is the Carolina Panthers. It is the Tennessee Titans, who in this game, we'll talk about Derrick Henry. It's the Panthers, the Titans, and the Colts. If you're not giving them the ball, if they're not touching the ball 20 plus times in a game, you do not stand a chance. Like, you're not going to win the game. And I said this earlier on in the show, and I'll reiterate it for everyone watching. I'm starting to go out on the Colts. I gave them the excuse early on in the season saying, okay, give them some time, let them figure out this offense, let them get into a rhythm. I know it's just 4 games in, but I have not seen many positive takeaways that can make me say, okay, let me hang on to this little narrative to say, okay, like, you know me, I'm an emotional takes. Like,
you're an emotional asshole. Yeah.
If I see something that I like, I'm gonna stick to that, and I'm gonna carry that on, even if it's making me blind to something that's actually happening. And that's what's happening with the Colts right now. There's nothing that I'm seeing that I can latch onto to say, okay, the Colts have been good. The Colts have given me promise.
There's something, I said this last week. It's very consistent in the NFL. If you cannot create takeaways, which the Colts have been one of the league leaders over the past 2 seasons in turnover differential, if you do not create takeaways and you turn the football over, you are losing possessions. You are losing the ability to put points on the board. And that's exactly what's happened with the Colts. Number 2 in the league in turnover differential. But they're doing the same exact thing as the New Orleans Saints. 2 teams we both had really high to start the year. They're one of the worst teams in getting the ball, and then they're giving the ball away. And when you do that, I don't care what level of football you play, from junior, Mighty Mike, Pee-wees, little kid football, the thing you preach is protect the football and go take the football away, get extra possessions and sudden change. And the Colts have not been able to do that. They've been one of the worst in the league, and it's costing them.
Yeah. Yeah. And now we get to see Joey B's Broncos here against the Colts on Thursday night on primetime football. 2 teams that have been underperforming and letting us down. letting us down in terms of the Colts and the Broncos. We'll talk about the Broncos in a little bit, though. On the Titans side of things, they do get the win, and it's exactly what we talk about all the time. This offense and this team is dependent solely on how Derrick Henry plays, and he is my player of the game here. Shocker. I'm not changing it up. Derrick Henry, when the Titans win, he'll most likely be the player of the game because his stats look like this: 25 total touches, 147 total yards, a touchdown. He is this offense. I get it. They scored more points than that. I get it. Ryan Tannehill had 2 touchdown passes, but it's not.
It doesn't mean anything because it's all set up by Derrick Henry.
Tannehill. Yeah, everything is set up for Ryan Tannehill because of what Derrick Henry does. Like, I get it. Like, this is the 3rd highest completion percentage in a game of Ryan Tannehill's career. That's great. He only threw the ball 21 times, and Derrick Henry set them up perfectly for just about everything when you watch this game. Like, this is something that, like, this offense is Derrick Henry.
This is why, I'm going to say it again, this is why Malik Willis should be starting for the Tennessee Titans. And I don't care that they got the win. Ryan Tannehill did what? He said, here, Derrick. Here you go.
Derrick.
Here, Derrick. Oh, play action. Oh, okay, I got a guy wide open. Let me dink it to him really quick. He'll go get some yards. Or play action at the goal line because you want to stop this 250-pound running back, and then you're going to just dump it in the end zone for the touchdown. Malik Willis can do that, but he also gives you an added dynamic on offense. This is Titans fans, push for it. They should boo Ryan Tannehill. I don't like booing players, but they should. The fans at the Titans Stadium should be on Ryan Tannehill every mistake he makes to force the hand of the Titans and Mike Vrabel to put in Malik Willis, because I'm telling you, this will be a much better football team because they will have a dynamic presence to go out and do something when Derrick Henry is stopped or they're only giving up 2 yards a carry when a defense just says, you know what, we're going to sell out. This is why. Cool. Congratulations on the win. You might win some more games, but as I told you at the beginning of the year, you ain't beating the Chiefs. You ain't beating the Bills. You're not beating the Chargers. You're not beating any of these high-powered offenses because they will just sell out to stop the run and force Ryan Tannehill to beat you, and he can't do it. So this is why Malik Willis should be the starting quarterback. I don't care about their win. That's a great win for the Titans. Yay.
I didn't want this to turn into a bashing of the Titans, and it's obvious we've been known they say exactly that for the Titans here. But I want to note something here, though. I do want to note something that I want to appreciate with the Tennessee Titans, and it's the fact that they're getting the ball to Derrick Henry, not just in the rushing game. And I know he didn't have that many receptions in this game, but he was effective in it. He was effective with his receptions that he had. I believe he had I believe it was somewhere around 30 receiving yards in this game. That's what you have to do. Like, if you're not going to put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands to make plays because, well, he can't really make that many plays, you find ways to get your best players the ball. And, well, there's only one player on this offense that really can do anything, and that's Derrick Henry. So you give him the ball in the passing game, you give him the ball in the rushing game, and that's how you –
But he's going to end up dying. It's going to be last year all over again. He's going to go 6, 7, 8 games.
It's really unfortunate that that's going to end up happening, but it may, and I don't want to wish any type of injury on Derrick Henry, but – that's the only way this Titans team is going to win football games, in my opinion. You're not going to
continue to give a guy 400 touches. It's not a sustainable success rate.
So would you rather them not give Derrick Henry the touches than lose and figure out a way to learn how to win with a passing game, or do you want to just see them run Derrick Henry into the ground and then just win games?
You cannot sustain. You cannot win in a sustaining way giving Derrick Henry 400 touches a year. This is, yes, you want to win, so you end up running him that many times. I'm sorry. Where is Dontrell Hilliard, who's been effective at times? Why is he not touching the football?
Dontrell Hilliard's not there anymore. Is he?
What?
No, never mind. Sorry, I'm thinking of Deontay Foreman. I'm sorry.
Why not run other guys? And they have a good running game. You don't have to be effective with other guys as you are with Derrick Henry. We know that's not going to be the case, but you have to give the ball to other people. We're not talking fantasy football here. Fantasy football, yes, give the ball to Derrick Henry. You want him to get all their points. From a football perspective, you have to have other ways to move the ball. You can't just rely on Derrick Henry's running. And you brought up the passing game. I get it, but nobody's afraid of Derrick Henry in the passing game. Nobody. Nobody's watching Derrick Henry go in the slot and run. Like, nobody cares. They whatever, you gave him 3 passes. Like, nobody cares about that. They are worried about him on the ground. You can't rely. Your offense cannot be built like that. Not with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, because he's not dynamic enough. That's the problem. I get it. They're going to have to run Derrick Henry. But mark my words, by week 10, 11, he's going to be so worn down and beat up because he's getting older. The mileage on those legs are going to eventually give out. That this is the conversation that we have with every running back of that style. It's the conversation we're having right now with Zeke. You have to split touches because he's not going to be as effective the more he continues to run at that pace. So yes, in the short term, great. You might win some regular season games, but in the playoffs, it doesn't work. And that's the problem in Tennessee.
No,
it was a great win, Titans fans. It was a great win, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a great win for Titans fans. That's what I was trying to get at here with the Derrick Henry. The Derrick.
Out of all that, that's what you were.
Well, no, honestly, I like my biggest takeaway from that too. My biggest takeaway from that too to note is, where did they draft Hassan Haskins? Wasn't Hassan Haskins a 4th round pick or like a 5th round pick? Somewhere around there. I mean, but the point is you have brought in pieces to help Derrick Henry out, and there's no. But again, it's which one would you rather have? They don't believe in
themselves.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It shows me they don't believe in themselves.
Well, it's about winning in this league. You have to win, and they're doing whatever it takes to win, and it's going to be at the expense of running Derrick Henry into the ground. That's plain and simple. That's how I view it here with the Tennessee Titans. But either way, they won. They defeated the Colts 24-17. Now, I believe in a tie with the Jacksonville Jaguars at the top of the AFC South. So congratulations.
Nobody cares through week 4, Vinny.
Congratulations. So yeah, Titans defeat the Colts 24-17.